Hello, this is Printing with another video. I wonder if I've underestimated Pamina. She's a character that I didn't go for initially. At the time, what she was offering wasn't particularly strong, I thought. And I still stick by my suggestion in the case of my guildmate, who I recommend move on to that previously. He specifically wanted to expand his breakers for the handling the pioneer mode. And I do feel like in that mode, like Pamina, as tough as she is, she can't really take many hits at those higher difficulty pioneer stages. Like if you're on 17 or 18, it's like she'll survive better than other units, but she's not really the take on a whole army like she is in perhaps other stages. In Tower Adversity mode, I was struggling getting Coco to not take any damage with the one attack that with armor. The one attack with the boss had any damage he managed to do with that attack would be multiplied 10 times and then done again, but to the entire field. So if you wanted to survive that attack, generally you need your unit to take no damage. The only way to do that was to just have shields, but enough shield that the character who was defending took almost no damage. And at first, I was using Coco with Darklight Ice Priest, who does 130 magic attack as a shield, as often as he wants, if you combine it with the energy recovery skill he has. The problem was that while this was great for Coco, usually not taking damage, he wasn't very useful elsewhere. And I wanted to use Simona, since she can add a shield to other units in addition to your tank, but at the same time it's only 60% magic attack, and so while her base may be higher than Darklight Ice Priest, it wasn't enough for Coco to not take any damage and subsequently let everyone else survive the follow-up attack. And you might be thinking, well, what about using the barrel trick? And I did try that. The problem was I didn't really have any good strategy to take care of the stacks of I forget the name of the buff, but when you get 10 stacks in the unit be eliminated immediately. And the easiest way to get rid of those all the stacks is to survive that attack and then cure the people to full HP, because if he doesn't do that attack, then the debuff that allows curing to healthy won't be effective. And I don't want to get too bogged down onto the details, since I waited towards the end of the time frame to finish it, so I knew any video that I released, any guide, wouldn't really be too helpful to most people. Not that I currently am getting many viewers, but to bottom line it, Pamina, when she starts stacking up her damage debuffs, or damage receive buffs, I should say. I still think I said that wrong. Although it is for a limited time, Like, it really allows her to survive that hit. Not only, like, was he not able to pierce her shields, but, like, she still have, like, a fair chunk left after that. So, you would only need to toss her a little heal to get her back to full. And in addition, with Simona giving the entire party shields, like, it was easy to heal everyone else as well, which is important because I was using Tyre. So even though Tyre is really good at burst healing, even 5-star getting the extra stacks of his trait, it took almost a full 6 stacks to get those summons to full in 1 or 2 turns. And part of what made her so good is this onslaught. As part of her ultimate, reduces damage by 30%. And while it only lasts for 2 turns, that was more than enough for surviving those attacks. In addition, if you were looking to just going over some other cool things about her that I haven't really used, is like this skill, speed increased by 50. She has a decent speed already, so that 50 puts her on Guardian tier. Like, if you have some Guardian that you want to try to kill before they do some annoying buff, give them a shield or whatever, this will let you outspeed them and also reduce her damage. Of course, with her only having 3 move, you really would have to hope to kill the enemy with the 70% of her ultimate, assuming that they're not, right next to where your units spawn. And of course, there's also this one, decreases damage taken by 15%. And hit by active attack from the front, damage is taken is decreased by 30%. So, I mean, you can see that she becomes a serious tank, which is probably the reason why she doesn't have any sort of guard assist skill, because she would legitimately be better tank than any Guardian if she had such a skill. Like, even a simple global guard would be ridiculous on her. Not to mention her built-in counterattack, which I like to get into that as well. Another skill that was useful, only a little bit, because most of her effort was trying to keep herself alive and undamaged. I didn't want to let her be low on HP when the next attack came around. This one has 2 skills that are useful. First, Break Invincible, which was occasionally useful for knocking off an enemy. The map is the way it's designed with narrow corridors, so you have to move up to the near slimes to really hit them, so that knockback of range of 5 isn't too useful. And I really underestimated, because in pioneering mode I was just so used to enemies just being immune to knockback. Like, I honestly had forgotten that it could do that until I tried using her on the Tower of Adversity, and refreshed me. Her break in this force is also a good skill, though it's a little bit less useful than you might realize at first. Obviously, gaining shield break. I can't pull it up here. Increases the damage against units that have shields, and I think it ignores block, but she already has ignored block as part of her trait. The problem is that the most useful trait and of the skill in that mode is that it would give pamina cancel resolve, allowing her to kill slimes without having to knock them off. Problem is that even though it's a 3-part attack, that part only activates if the unit's already dying before they attack. So you can't, like, if the enemy is close to dying but not quite there, and then it does enough damage to kill them, even though that last attack is against a dying target, it still won't trigger the block resolve, which is a bit unfortunate, but still 150% damage is one of her more damaging skills. I guess probably her most damaging skill. There's some skills I haven't really tried, but I don't think there's any other skill comparable. Counterattack slash is a skill I took, and it's generally good. One thing I would like to say about this is unfortunately the strike back count increased by additional 2 times per round does not affect her trait. It does affect. It only affects the counterattack that the skill itself gives, and while it's definitely good for counterattacking enemies outside her trait's range, and having 3 responses is incredible, it's kind of difficult to actually get hit that many times by range attacks, because she can't force enemies to target her. So they might still target her if she's the closest, but the more interesting part is increasing her damage by 85%, including her trait and lifesteal. Like, stacking up that lifesteal, even without this, is like often enough to get her to fool with enough enemies, but when this trait is active, it's really difficult for anyone to kill her. They basically have to one-shot her, which is pretty difficult. Now, all this stuff, while useful, isn't like something that really makes her stand out for other physical / counterattack units. Like, I mean, it stands out, of course. Like, other units doesn't have this exact tool set, but one thing that does set her a bit apart is, of course, her trait, unyielding heroine. When attacked by enemies within 2 tiles, deal 90% damage to all enemies in range. The damage gets reduced with more units you hit, but even then, like, since it's a max of 3, talking about still significant damage, especially with that strike. But what's in particular useful is that it doesn't count as a reaction. Anything that ignores reaction or blocks reaction, or I can't think of any reaction, any counterattacks that would count as a passive, but there are some that are activated through an action, like other units have counter-strike stance like skills, though not exactly the same. So it would allow her to, if she was dependent on that active block, could prevent her from using her as a counterattack thing. But this is basically the only way to stop her, I think, is to bind her. And right now I only have 1 start, but it goes up to 4 counterattacks at 3 stars. So if she gets surrounded and hits by a bunch of enemies, she'll be doing damage and regenerating. And until now, such a trait wouldn't be too impressive, since like difficult content mainly focused on one strong enemy that hits really hard. So that even that 90% damage wouldn't be doing much as far as whittling them down. But now that they're focusing more on AoE units, multiple weak units that you need to chop through, if the trend continues, then her ability to just counterattack, mowing through enemies will be effective. I feel like. I don't know that it would be more effective than just having a bunch of nukers. Like if you didn't need someone to stay on the front line, because even in the Tower Versing map, I think I only triggered her trait once, because I didn't really need her for damage, but she does offer something that pretty much no other unit does. But there is something to consider. Recently in CN, Clara was announced, and Clara is a Guardian that has a similar counterattack. So, while she is unique now, there is a character who may be coming up that could be better. We don't have many specific details quite yet about Clara, like as far as how her damage is decided. But the way it works is anytime her shield is damaged, including if it's completely destroyed, that counterattack triggers. And she also has some attacks that damage her own shield. So, in theory, if you got enemies that can damage but not really do much damage to your shield, she could get more triggers than Pamina, assuming there isn't some other turn limit to the trait or skill. And as a Guardian, she's appears to be have some version of Global Guard, which is something they avoid doing up to now. Like, there are Guardian units that have good counterattacks, like Alexei and Rico, but Alexei only has a once per turn Guardian assist, and Rico has no sort of assist block or assist guard. I always forget which term to use, but I think it's assist guard, not Guardian assist or assist block. So maybe in the future, Pamina will lose her uniqueness, and even now, I feel like she's not like a must-have. Like, if I had Inanna and Akambe, or Leonide and Teed, I could use one of those 1 to 2 clear strategies, and I wouldn't have to use Pamina at all. Or if I had Fallen, who could give stronger shields, Coco would have done just fine. I'd prefer to have like redundant healing on Tile Diversity, then pamina, basically occasionally killing 1 or 2 slimes, but still is, I'd say, a good character. I know this video has gone on long, and if anyone's stayed this long, I really do appreciate it. I hope to keep making videos, but sometimes life gets in the way. Thank you. Have a great day.